Yo, what is up, guys? Benson, you are a cool dude. I hear a lot of great things about you. I use your software. Bro, what do we have planned today for our audience? I know I kind of like gave you a little sneak peek of what I got planned.
Yeah, I don't know the whole scenario, but I'm excited about learning about 2 new deals he got under contract that we have to figure out how to determine what these are worth. What are the dispo options? Who are the potential buyers? What is this? What kind of deal is this really? Right now, I'm
Yeah,
assuming that you've done some kind of pre-vetting of these right before you lock them up. So you got a general sense of what makes sense. But now you really have to see where the market's set. What will the buyers actually pay for these things?
exactly. So we have some like real life application of how I've been using Privy in my business, how we're gonna comp the deals to determine, if they're actually good or not, if we got our numbers right or not, and where our buyers are at. We can even pull some buyers. We could even call some buyers on this show if we have enough time.
Amazing.
I love it.
So you try to do as much of that live as you can, right? That's what's so cool about this show is, you're trying, these are like real world applications of what you're doing in your business to make money. This isn't theory. This isn't us selling some expensive coaching program. This is like inside the mind of Nathan Harris as he's going out there and getting deals done.
It's strange inside there.
I know it is. I've seen just the symptoms of what's going on in there, and I'm scared.
Awesome. Well, before we get too much fear, let's hop right into it. Yeah, so let me pull up these deals. I'll actually, you know what? I'll share them in my pipeline. So I have these 2 right here under contract right now. I should actually be conscientious. 1 second. Let me not. Oh no, where'd Benson go? There he is.
Here.
Hold on. Let me
Benson's
pull up the
right
deal
here.
card before I go showing too much. There we go. Boom. Awesome. So we have this address right here. We have some information on it, some comps, a projected ARV, wholesale price, our math, and a Loom video. But let's recomp it because my underwriter comped this before. So let's recomp it to see, was my underwriter on the right track? Do we agree with him? And look at that. They already put it as under contract. I love it.
That is smart.
So we have this deal.
So just get the flow correct, right? Like you actually have somebody on your team doing acquisition, right? And they do the pre-underwriting and they'll actually get under contract before you even look at it.
So here's what I do. So I primarily do the calling. I'll reach out to the agents, call them, collect the information, and then I have a full-time underwriter. I trained my underwriter with Ernesto when Ernesto and I were business partners. I trained him. He's really, really good, but I still got to double check the numbers before I put it out to the buyers. But for the most part, he gets them right. However, it's always good to double check before you put them out to the buyers, just so you don't look silly.
100%. So tell us the story on this property.
Yeah, so let's see here. Let's see what notes I have on it. I don't have good notes, but I do recall this one here. There is this issue with the roof. It's been sitting for a while. They don't have much information on it. If I remember correctly, it's an inherited property. Roof caved in. So it's a full gut. It's a very heavy rehab on it.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see here, the roof is just shot. Our numbers on this one are looking like this. So this is what my underwriter projected. An ARV of 280,000 with 79,000 in repairs, pretty much 30,000 in fees. Now that's going to be like sales costs, so paying for realtors and whatnot. And 33,000 in profit, which is a 12% flippers profit, equals 137 wholesale price. Now I got this under contract for 135, so it's really tight. However, we'll go for the retrade, and that's how we'll make a buck off of it. So as long as we get it slightly above what we believe our buyers can buy it for, we're cool with putting it out and then just making money on the back end.
Gotcha. So 135. So you got this thing at a pretty significant discount.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. I don't know if it's significant. I have to blast it at 137. I might blast it at 140, like push it a little bit higher, and then I have it under contract at 135. But once we get people out to the property, we're gonna get a big list of things that are wrong with it, and then adjust accordingly.
What was the list price again?
The list price on this one is 215. So I guess yeah, in terms of like list to contract price, we have a significant discount.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out, is that like a lot of people wouldn't even offer on this, thinking that they couldn't get them down that much. I mean, you got them down 90 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other one, I think it's like 100 grand that I have off of list price.
Is that 80? So 80, that's pretty good, man. I mean, again, this just goes to show you guys, if you are passing over on market deals because you think they're not viable and you think that, oh, if they were on the MLS, they would already be under contract. Like, there's different ways of approaching these to where you can lock them up. Now, this one was sitting for a while. What was the days on market when you wrote the offer?
Let's see here. Property history. Listing 5th month, 1st day, 2024. So we got it fairly quick, I guess. It looks like they listed it before and it went inactive. It looks like they tried to sell it in 2022 for 240,000, and then it went inactive. And then in 2024, they listed it again at 215 on the 5th month, 1st day. So that would be May 1st, meaning it was on market for 1 month and about a week.
Got it.
Yeah,
that's actually not all that long.
It's not. And one thing is, like, I don't touch anything that's under 14 days on market, because I notice, like, when it first hits the market, sellers are like, I just want the highest number. They haven't really come to reality yet. So I let other people beat them down for the first 14 days. And then after that, I come in with my realistic offer, and it's a little bit easier. I don't have to deal with as much realtors getting argumentative.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on this one. This one looks like it's definitely viable. What's your next step?
Yes. So next step will be double check my comps. So what I like to do is I like to scroll down here to the comparable section. I like to open it up to all. So for making sure that I'm clearing all the filters, I click reset, I open it up to all. And then I like to just narrow it down. So first thing I want to see is, because there's bodies of water nearby. Yes, I am on a body of water. So that means that my comps could be on bodies of water too. If my comps are inland, the worst that's going to happen is it's going to drag down my ARV. But if my subject property was inland, there's no way that I would use comps that are on the water, because I think that's going to inflate my ARV.
It would, but you could also make an adjustment for it being on the water. Subtracting, about 20% is not uncharacteristic of someone doing adjustment on that.
Yeah, I agree. You can do an adjustment. I try to avoid the adjustments unless if it's super necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a 1,164 square foot property. So I'm going to click on square feet just to make it descending. And then I'm going to start hiding the ones that are way out of range. So I like to stay within 300 square feet. So 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to get rid of that one. We're going to keep that one for now, even though it's 11-ish. It's like a little over 10 square feet bigger. And then we'll go to the small side, 781. It's kind of small. I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to keep the 800s for now, just because, like, worst case scenario, they're going to bring me down, but I'm going to tighten it up afterwards. Try to zoom in, but there we go. That's better. Year built, 1963 is my subject property. So we have a bunch of 1959, and then we have a bunch of 1980 properties. So I'm going to start plucking out the 1980 properties. I would like 1973 and lower. Okay.
Got it.
1959, that's okay.
Did you notice that all of the ones you just deleted were on the other side of that canal?
Yeah. Yeah, it must be a builder.
Yep.
Yeah, building like
So
an
that
entire development.
just a different neighborhood,
Hmm.
right? So the comp zone by default is a half a mile from the center of the subject property. So you could have redrawn this comp zone, and that would have eliminated anything outside of that neighborhood that the subject property is located in.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I could have redrawn that console now. That would have been a good idea.
And
Sometimes
that's
sometimes
what this
I
shows
I
too, is
just pluck
there's
them.
just multiple ways to do it, right? Like you've got your approach that works. And some people like first thing, neighborhood, right? Let's get rid of comps on the north side of the highway, on the other side of the canal. And then that sometimes will eliminate some of the stuff like year built and square footage that are different because of who actually built that thing.
Hmm. I agree. And I just want to show something really quickly while I'm here. You see these houses that are right beside the highway? Using these as comps, yeah, there's a little bit of space in between them, but like these comps that are right beside highways or like super major roads aren't always nearly as valuable as the more inland comps. Imagine living beside a really noisy highway, or a really noisy major road where people are kicking up dust and potentially car accidents can happen near your house. Those ones
Mhm.
aren't as valuable. So if you ever have a subject property that's beside a major road, just be conscientious that anything near major roads aren't as valuable. So next thing I would like to do is I would like to clean up the lot size. So I want to remove anything that's 3,000 square feet bigger or smaller. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 8, 7, 6. We're good on the lot size. So we have square footage cleaned up, lot size, anything with an extra level, which there isn't. Now I want to do sold date. So let's see. So we got a bunch selling in 2024. Good. Let me start plucking out all these 2023 comps because it's way too old to be using, way too much in the future to be using 2023 comps. We are on the 6 month now. April, May, June. Yep,
Mhm.
6 months. 5, 4, 3. So I would prefer not to use anything from over 90 days ago, unless if I absolutely have to. Okay, now we've lowered it to some pretty good ones to work with. I want to start by looking at the ones right close to it. Like, for example, on the map here, you see our subject property is right here, and we
It's
have
right
this
there.
property right across the street. That seems like a pretty good comp. Let's take a look at the photos. Okay, this one has a pool. That's a weird style.
Yeah, it's definitely not renovated, and it doesn't even look upgraded. They've
Hmm.
just basically embraced the retroness of the property and built it into the stylishness of the house.
Yeah, that is strange. I wouldn't vibe with a property like that. Okay, well, we now have an idea of what that one looks like. Let's take a look at some other ones in the area. We have this one, the 279 one. Does this one have water access? It does not. This one's a little bit older as well.
Yeah, the kitchen was updated.
Let's take a look at that.
Does yours have a pool?
Let me confirm. I don't believe so.
I don't think I saw one.
No. No pool. We could potentially put a pool in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit tight and expensive. So we'll have to keep that in mind that we're probably going to have to do an adjustment for a pool if we use that pool comp. This 278 interests me because they got 278 and they don't have the water in their backyard. Oh, wait a minute, do they? I feel like this is a misleading comp
There's a
because,
path to a dock.
yeah, is that their dock though? Because if you look at it, hold on, let me click off of it. If you look at it here, right,
Switch it to
it's
the satellite view.
I wonder whose dock that is.
There was a photo that I thought showed stairs from the back
Yeah,
of the the house to the dock?
There totally was. But my concern is the lot lines. Like, is that their dock, or is that, they're leveraging the neighbor's dock? Maybe that's theirs. Maybe the lot lines are just a little off.
Look at the description. That might mention something about the dock.
Imagine launching your boat from your dock, cruising down. I mean, they say your dock.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this one is waterfront, which is good. 3-1, 1966. Okay, that one's a good comp to keep in mind. Switch it back to the other way. So this one has a pool. The 290 has a pool. That one doesn't have a pool. How about this one? 215. Nothing crazy or cool.
So far, we don't have anything that really represents after repair value.
Yeah.
The highest sales in the neighborhood are on the water, have a pool, but aren't renovated.
Mm-hmm. That one's not renovated, and that one's inland. This one here. Let's go view external listing. Interesting. This one doesn't look like it was fully completed.
I think it is completed. It's just not oh, there we go. There's a repair right there.
Yeah. And the doors aren't painted yet. So, but they did do nice. Like, they used nice materials. And what did this one sell for? This one sold for $230, but it's also by the highway. So, obviously it's not going to get as high of an ARV. I don't feel comfortable using that one with it being by the highway. And then the $91,000 comp, I just purged that one because it was like, obviously it won't be a comp. I think these two are our best bets, but they're not renovated. So this one might be a little bit difficult to find a buyer for. But we do have
experience with that,
Go ahead.
right? So you got two properties that give you actually a decent ARV, but you don't have the renovated comp, so you can't really justify that it's going to go more than that, even though it probably would, because those two comps are going to be used by the appraiser, and then they're going to see that you got a fully renovated property. Like, this is what the buyer's thinking, right? And there's going to be a bump in the value, but you're not going to get a 1-for-1 value in that, and also the sweat equity. So what did your virtual assistant come up with on the value again?
Let me pull up my notes. Yeah, so he's projecting a $280,000 after repair value. And as a matter of fact, he's actually looking at the same comp that we're looking at, 8691, which is this one right here, 8691 Cindy, without a pool.
Yeah.
So I think what he did was worth it. I think it was worth us making an offer on. And I think we should shoot it out and see what happens, because, there's no point in not making an offer just because you're skeptical. I would say put it out. The buyers on this one would be a little bit challenging to find the buyers, but what I would do on something like this is I'll grab the zip code. So obviously I'll send it to my buyers that are in my CRM right now. But on top of that, I'm just going to start from the Privy dashboard. I will put the zip code in. And then I will switch it to fix and flip. And I will pull this list of buyers. And then I will specifically reach out to this list of buyers as well. There might be some buy and hold people in here. There might be some, fix and flippers. But out of these 44 people, I have a pretty strong feeling that out of these 44 people, at least one of those 44 people will be like, this does make sense. Yeah, there's, not the newest comps in the area, but, look how much below price it is compared to everything else in the neighborhood. Maybe they want to burr it. Maybe they want to turn it into a rental.
I would actually even make that zone larger on the south side of that highway. And go all the way down to the Gulf there, or not that Gulf, but that whole section there, Like you could redraw it with there, and then that whole section to the northeast of that canal river thing. Like I think that's a really good target zone for buyers.
Do you
And
mean
we
like
didn't
this?
even look at rental data yet. So I would actually
Ooh.
go in and pull the rental comps on the subject
Hmm.
and include that in your disposition message that you, when you blast it out, and be like, here's what the market rents are.
That's a really good idea. Let's pull some rental comps. Okay. So square feet, let's make sure it's nice and close. Oops.
Now, by the way, you guys, if Nathan likes to go from the all angle, which removes the comping algorithm, and then he likes to go through one by one, you don't necessarily have to do that. The algorithm is going to actually narrow in on the right comps from the very beginning that are within our kind of standard tolerances. But everybody does it a different way. Nathan's doing it manually, but if he hadn't checked all, you could use the comps that were there from the first pass.
Yeah, like it's super great for quick comping. I even tell my underwriter, like, hey, when people send you stuff in the inbox, like gauge which one to do first based on the quick comps. So like what pops up immediately. And that is so useful, Benson. I'm really grateful for those quick comps because oh my goodness, it saves us so much time.
Yeah. So the only one I would remove is that 4.2.
4.2. Yeah, that one definitely has to go. So we're looking at like high end 2000, low end 1600. If they get it for 135 and they put how much into it? Let's see. And they put 79,000 into it. Let's do the math. 135 plus 80,000. They'd be all in at 215,000 and they would make on the high end $2,000 a month. I think this one's worth putting rental comps in my listing as well.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah.
Now, the other angle here, and this is a whole different approach, is that you could actually pull data from AirDNA to see what it would go for on a short-term rental perspective.
Oh, whoops.
It might be a great short-term rental.
That's a good idea. Let's
Just right on,
do AirDNA.
it's right on the water, and people definitely would come to this area and rent it out, as a short-term rental. They can take their boat out. It's like a little vacation.
Do you want to screen share and show AirDNA? I haven't really done that. I've like gone on there once or twice, but I'm not too
Let me
familiar
see if
with the
my
site.
account works. I haven't gone in there for a while,
Okay.
but go ahead and continue what you're doing. I'll see if I can pull it up.
Cool. So what I'm gonna do here, while Benson's checking to see if he can get that pulled up, I'm gonna take this zip code. I'm gonna pull buyers in this zip code because after this call, I'm gonna spend my day on the and you guys will see it. You guys will see me live today dispoing these two deals. I'm gonna spend my day calling these buyers and trying to get these deals sold. So I'll start from the dashboard just to show you guys exactly how I do it.
All right.
On the dashboard here, I will paste the zip code and then I will click fix and flip. I'll give it a moment to load. And then I'll click fix and flip. And I'm going to actually open this up a little bit more. Like Benson was suggesting, there's a lot of area to the right here that buyers would potentially buy in. So why not include them as well? Okay, grab the pen tool. I love this pen tool, Benson. Thank you for making it.
Oh yeah. What's the zip code on that property again?
34287. There we go. Download.
They've changed their model a bit. Before you could zoom right into submarkets, and now they're trying to charge me.
They gotcha. How about this? If there's a paywall on that one, why don't we not worry about it? We have this land opportunity that I would love to show you as well. So I got this one. I don't know why it still says active. He needs to put that as pending. But then again, it was just last night that I got it, so I won't be too hard on him. So this guy is suggesting that you build on this lot, and I think it makes sense. There's also a tenant. There's a property currently, and there's a tenant in the property paying. Let me see. Tenant occupied. They pay on time. They've been there for 3 to 4 years on a month-to-month lease. They pay $2,309 every single month. So if you were to buy this land and you were to potentially develop on it, you have some cash flow coming in while you're waiting for the entire approval process. So you're pretty secure on that. Now, we comped this one, and what we found is that there wasn't too many new builds in the area of the exact same lot size, which at first had us a little bit concerned, but then we were like, you know what, maybe we should put this one under contract, because we came across these comps here, and these are vacant land comps, right? Like this one here is, half an acre. An acre is 10,000 square feet, right? Do you know?
An acre is 42,000 square feet, 44,000 square feet.
Okay, then we'll talk in square feet, because I got that wrong. So 5,000 square foot lot, 4,000 square foot lot, another 4,700 square foot lot, right? So these ones, 825, 900, 1 million. And we put this under contract for 705,000. So we felt like it would be worthwhile for us to reach out to those comps. We actually even here have a Loom video from my underwriter, if y'all want to see what he did. I bet you, let's take a look. Let's see. We're going to put it on 1.5. So you see he's clearing out ones that are on the other side of that major road.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's pondering these new builds on whether or not they make the cut. Okay, so I see what's happening. So there was a new build there, but it was lacking photos. Maybe he found photos somewhere. 3, 4, 6, 4. Yeah, he did.
Is this in 2 times speed? Because this guy works fast.
Yeah. This is 1.5, but he works
Okay.
really, really fast either way. So I think what he's doing here is he's now going and he's looking for land comps in the area, and then he's cross-referencing it with Privy data. Benson, is there a land filter on Privy that I can use?
There's not currently.
Okay. Yeah. But that's okay. What I would like to do is I would like to get the buyers behind these comps. So as you guys see here, we have 4 comps here. So I would like to figure out like who is the entity purchasing this, and that's something that Privy can do for me. So let me search that up.
Love it.
I love it too. Okay.
It's such
Yeah.
a realistic and pragmatic approach is to call the people who actually flip the comps or who own the comps, right? Because
Mhm.
if it's a comp, like that the property you're going to send them fits their buy box because it's comparable. The only reason why they wouldn't be interested in it is if the price is wrong or if they're already busy with another project. Other than that, you've already wiped away a lot of the objections that they could possibly raise, which is, oh, that thing doesn't fit what I'm looking for.
Yeah, the one thing that I heard from somebody was actually Jay Mora. Jay Mora is incredible at dispo, and he gave me a course, and in that course they kept saying your comps are your buyers, and it's like such a no brainer once you realize that your comps are your buyers. Um, they're buying exactly what you're looking at, and yeah, it's that easy.
Absolutely. I actually have a similar twist on that concept,
Mhm.
which I say people would say they try to avoid competition, but part of competition is the word comps, right? So if you have no competition, you have no comps. And so it is the same thing basically. Like
Mm.
if you don't have any comparables, then there's no buyers
Mhm.
there. And the comparables are typically driven by investor activity.
Oh yeah, I would way rather be in a competitive market than be in a market without anything going on. It's like if you were to start a Walmart, Benson, would you rather start a Walmart in the desert where there's like maybe a town with 100 people, or would you rather start a Walmart on New York Street, like on Wall Street? It's going to be really competitive on Wall Street. There's a lot more clientele. There's a lot more market share for you to grasp.
100%.
So I'm trying to track down this guy right here, and I'll just walk you guys through my train of thought. So the first thing I did was I looked up the comp, and I went on Privy and I scrolled down to property history and searched up the entity that bought this, because buyers are buying this and they're holding it for some time. I don't know what their end game is, but they're buying land and they're holding it in the area. So I grabbed that entity's name and I went to Open Corporates and I searched it up on Open Corporates. I got their address here. And then what I did is I went to True People Search and I tried to find them on True People Search, but I was unsuccessful in finding them on True People Search. And that's probably because the agent that they have is a company, right? So I took that company name and I went to Google and I Googled that company to figure out like what that company is. And this is what I've came up with so far. And here we go. We have a LinkedIn profile. Andre Hurto, President CEO of Prosidec. Business innovation. I don't know exactly what Prosidec is, but maybe this is our point of contact. Maybe not. One other way that we could go about it is we could go onto Open Corporates and search up that company that holds that company. Oh yeah, there we go. And Andres Hurto. Perfect. I think we found our guy. We had to go through an extra layer, but I think we found him. And it's actually under the same address, but I didn't have a human name attached to it.
Can I
Dude,
ask you a
these
quick
capitals.
question before you show the results? Have you
Mhm.
had Google or any sites pull your videos down if you're showing information like contact information yet?
Um, very, very rarely. Like I would say like 1 in 20, and then I argue it and they don't get upset with me.
Mm,
Pretty much I have to prove that it's in the public domain. And all I say is I say, watch the video. This is pretty obvious. It's in the public domain. I found it from the public domain.
got it. Okay.
Yeah. Andres D. Hurto. And here we go. We have our man. And we could actually reach out to him. How much time do we have? We have 25 minutes. Do you think, Benson, what do you think? You think we should reach out to him live,
I
or do
think
you
you
think
should
we
call him.
should?
He's
Yeah.
in Florida, so it's not early out there. It's 9:35. So
Bet. Let's
he's
do it.
probably up. He's probably been up for 3 hours after his workout and coffee, and he meditated already. He's ready to do some business.
I love it. Let's do it. Let me switch to my dispo side. and I will give him a call. Let's copy his phone number. Andres Orto. Everybody can hear my screen share?
I don't hear anything.
Okay, 1 second.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Okay, Andres did not answer. We're going to double dial him.
You have contacted Andres Hurtado. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, Andres. My name is Nathan. I saw that you purchased that property on Hibiscus Street, and I figured I'd give you a call because I actually have another property similar to that in the area at a killer deal that I won't be able to take it down myself. So just wanted to reach out and see if that's something you'd be interested in. Please feel free to give me a call back or send me a text back. That works too. All right. Thank you. Bye. I don't know what my dispo number is. I like stuttered there.
Oh,
I know what my Oxide number is, but not my dispo.
here, call me. Actually, don't call me live because my
Yeah.
number will show up, but we could figure it out quickly if you wanted.
That's okay. Hopefully he'll just see it in his call history. But I'll send him a text after this show. I'm gonna like do a proper marketing campaign to everybody that's buying in that area.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So this is a good like low-hanging fruit approach, right? You're the low-hanging fruit here on this area for buyers is people who just purchased properties recently, right? So we know they're active, we know they have the resources, meaning the money to actually execute and close a deal. And those are things you'll typically know about buyers if you're meeting them other ways, right? So you've already, again, you're checking boxes off. And that's what the power of Privy is with data, you're optimizing. You're not just sending out messages to random people who opted into a list and probably are other wholesalers just trying to get in the middle of a daisy chain transaction, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with those kind of micro flips. But you as somebody who needs to like find a buyer today, you don't want to mess around with people who you don't know actually have the resources to execute, close, and give you an assignment fee.
Yeah, and to be quite frank, like, you know, I'm really, really passionate about only having good quality buyers in my system because I don't want to waste a bunch of time with jokesters. Is kind of the way I look at it. If they're not serious, if they're not like actually flipping, then like I'm really skeptical on sending them my deals because I tried it before where I would like build a list of Facebook buyers, right? People in Facebook groups that say they're buyers, but sometimes they're not buyers. Sometimes they're wholesalers pretending to be buyers. And I found myself wasting a whole bunch of time, finding myself in really sticky situations. Like there was this one Facebook buyer that I sold one of my deals to, and you know he asked for a $40,000 retrade right before closing, and the entire deal went to crap. It was this like, and it was terrible because I had this like 80-year-old woman that we were buying her house and we assigned it to this buyer. And then she was getting ready to pay the movers and everything. And then right up until closing for like the last 5 days, you know, he's like, maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. Give me my $40,000 price reduction. I'm like, dude, I'm making $5,000. I can't even give you a $40,000 price reduction. And I called him. I'm like, you need to know that like this is an 80-year-old woman, and you know she needs to know whether or not she needs to move all her stuff out of the house, and she doesn't have a lot of money for moving expenses. So after that, I was like, I'm only dealing with qualified buyers from the tax records, and that's why I love Privy, because I find qualified buyers from the tax records. The tax records don't lie. They either fix and flip that property or they didn't. And you can tell using Privy if they're actually fixing and flipping. And you can also see like, what are they buying? How much are they paying for it? So if you ever have a buyer that's like, oh, I'll only purchase at 50% of ARV, you know, look at what they've been buying. Oh, maybe this guy is actually purchasing at 60%. You get all that data on Privy.
Yep. Yeah, it's a huge time saver, and it will actually help you execute and close deals, right? That's really what we're trying to get to here, is the closing, where you have a successful disposition of a property and they give you an assignment fee that's on the HUD. You close a deal and you get a check, and you're increasing the chances of that happening when you use real data.
Totally. You got any cool Privy stuff you wanna share with us, Benson? I feel like I'm hogging the screen share.
No, but I do want to tell you that I looked up that property in Northport on AirDNA, and it isn't the way it used to be, but I could show it real quickly.
Yeah,
here.
please.
What was the subject property address again?
Let me see. It is 6363 Talbot Street.
Okay, there we are. All right. So very interesting. Do you mind if I take the screen share real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So I logged into AirDNA, and they have like this free account. It's freemium, meaning they want me to upgrade. So I wasn't able to drill down and actually see the comps over here, but this is the neighborhood, right?
Oh, wow.
This property right here is going for $6,200 a month as a short-term rental. It's on the water. This one right here went for $4,400 a month. Now these, I think both of us had pools. 23,000, 5,400. So as a regular rental, it's not all that viable for an investor. The maybe, you know, cash flow just a little bit. It doesn't meet the 1% rule. But as a short-term rental, it really does excel as an opportunity. Look at these numbers.
That's wild. Yeah, and I bet you we could just use Google Street View and you know, drive by it and look at it on satellite to get an idea of which homes those are. Can you click into those homes? Does it let you? Does it let you like look at the amenities?
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So this is the one that went for 6,200, and it's a 3-bedroom. Yours is only a 2. So that would be an adjustment. But if we could find some 2-bedrooms, like, again, this is just another angle for those out there that are looking for other dispo opportunities and what's the highest and best use of a property in a certain area. The highest and best use of the house in this area is a short-term rental.
Yeah, that's I might just get AirDNA just for this dispo specifically, at least.
Yep. And since you're doing so much in Florida anyway, like that would just be good to have. And you got 3 disposition angles. And believe me, you know, somebody who's doing rentals and or somebody who's doing short-term rentals, they don't have to get that huge discount. They just need to look at cash flow. And so you got those properties that maybe are on the fringe, right, where you have to pay up a little bit, or, you know, maybe you don't want to retrade, then this is a good angle for it.
And you know, it's interesting because sometimes there's people that'll even buy properties at a little bit of a loss because like they have a lot of active income and they need that accelerated depreciation. So if you call enough people, you might even come across somebody that would buy something that doesn't fully make sense, but because they have a tax problem and they need that accelerated depreciation, they'll still get it.
Oh yeah, you never know.
I mean, that like me by the end of the year, I need to purchase a property for myself by the end of the year. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to cut a check to Uncle Sam rather than like letting that money go into a property and using accelerated depreciation to reduce my tax bill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should buy this one for yourself.
I'm terrible at saving. I'd have to get a private money lender for the down payment too.
That's fine. It's got great numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You can get a
I like
DSCR loan, and they'll use short-term rental data as comps.
Interesting. I was trying to buy this pad split, and the only issue I had with it, like it made a lot of sense, but the only issue I had with it is they're like, because it's not long-term rent numbers, they're like, you have to season it for 6 months, meaning I would have to pay holding costs for 6 months before I could get my DSCR loan. And that kind of broke the deal on me. But maybe I can make the numbers work on this one. That, you know, I like the I like being pushed a little bit. That's good. Because it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. I've never like taken down a property myself. Like I've never purchased a property myself. So I don't really know what goes into it.
I would watch that show.
Which one?
This show of you going and buying a property for yourself.
Well, before the end of the year, there's going to be a show of Nathan finding a property in Florida, probably fixing it up and, you know, turning it into whatever it is. Because if I don't, I'm going to have to cut a check to Uncle Sam, and I don't want to cut a check to Uncle Sam.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, let's open it up to some questions. If y'all got any questions, or, you know, you have any specific locations that you're looking for buyers in, feel free to pop them in the side chat. We were pretty focused there looking for those buyers. So let me just acknowledge everybody that's in the side chat here. We got Harry. Aloha, Harry. Oh, hey Benson. Harry is.
We don't have direct to MLS data in Hawaii yet.
You were so quick to that.
I knew where you were going, bro.
Yeah. No, he's messaging me too. I think, Harry, are you trying to wholesale in Hawaii? I tried to wholesale in Canada, and it was like, it was too difficult. Canada, the laws are different there, and it was really difficult to get any information. Good morning, believe in yourself.
You can get a bunch of buyers in Hawaii because it's public record data, right? So we have all of that buyer data in Hawaii.
Really?
It's there. Oh yeah.
Can you show me? Because Harry's been asking me for like weeks.
For sure. Yeah. It's you can definitely operate out there. It's just a different experience than if you have direct, but you can absolutely do it. So can you see my screen?
Yep.
So let's do I'm gonna reset this. So this is how I would do it, Harry. So I would do,
while you're doing that, 1 second, I'll be back in 30 seconds. I just gotta grab something.
Yeah, I would click the fix and flip button, and then it's going to plot on the map all of the investor activity. And if we scroll out here to Hawaii and then drill down, we're going to see that there's actually some activity here. Now, this is all available whether or not there's direct to MLS. So there's 254 flips that we found on the islands of Hawaii. Okay. So you could literally just export all of this right into a list, download it. You got 254 buyers out here. But if we drill down and we actually go and look for listings, we'll find third-party MLS listings here. It just doesn't come from direct. It comes from our data partner that gives us listings. But let's see which one looks like it's the most active here. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, and I apologize, you guys. I'm using Chrome, and every time I use Chrome and I'm on a live, like it just bogs down the whole scenario. I probably have to clear out my my cache, but I don't want to go and redo all my. Look at all those buyers. Wow. So I'm going to circle this.
I had no clue.
No, it's Honolulu. That's why it's so busy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 250 buyers out here. I'm having
Can we,
browser issues too.
here, let me, I can take over.
Yeah, you try to recreate this real quick on your end, and then we'll switch the screen share.
Okay, so let's see. So Benson has Hawaiian Islands, fix and flip. Okay, let me do that on mine. So first I'm going to click on the fix and flip filter. Just give it a second. And then the Hawaiian Islands are over here to the right, I think.
Well, it's to the left, depending upon how you're looking at it. Yeah.
I don't know where they are.
It's on the west side, man. There you go.
Oh, here we go. If you go right enough, you'll get to it.
Yeah, like you're right.
Okay, so Harry, let me grab you this because I know you've been itching for that data. Download. I'll put it into a Google Drive for you. Okay. I don't know how to spell it. Hawaiian. Hawaiian. Buyer data. Cool. Share. Anyone with the link, copy link. And boom, there you go, Harry. I'm so glad that we could do that for Harry Benson.
Yeah.
It's been like 4 or 5 times. He's like, "Can you do Hawaiian data?" I'm like, don't know.
You certainly can. Again, you guys, the direct to MLS just upgrades the quality and the timeliness of the data when it comes directly from MLS. And that's most important for comping and finding on-market leads. But if you're building buyers lists, you absolutely don't have to have that direct to MLS. It's going to be a little delayed. So if someone fixed and flipped a property yesterday and closed it, it won't hit county records in most counties for up to a week. But because of the direct MLS, you'll see it right away. In a place like Hawaii, where it is third party and county record data, it's just a little bit delayed. And there's not a ton of investor activity out here anyway. So maybe you missed 1 or 2, but these are all viable buyers.
I love that. I love that. Hey, we got some awesome questions here in the side chat. Let's go from the top down. So Reggie says, what's the best way for finding buy and holds, fix and flip buyers is easy, but buy and hold seems to be a bit harder?
It's actually much, well, let's say easier. It's almost the same, right? So that's the absentee owner filter in the drop down from the top, Nathan. Okay, so if you go to filter, you just click that drop down, and then at the very bottom, go to absentee owner, and then you have to hold on 1 second. Don't click anything just yet. You have to change some other filters, right? So the timeline, you're going to switch to all. So that's only going to show you people who bought properties in the last 6 months. And then at the top, we're going to change the status depending upon what you're looking for. Now, think about this for a minute. If you have active properties that are on the market right now that are owned by a landlord and they're selling a property, maybe there's a chance they're actually going to be in the market for another one. They're going to take the money from that house they're selling and put it in a new house. If you click sold, it's going to be all properties that they currently own that aren't for sale, right? Now, so if they have at least one, there's a chance they'll buy another. So the status is kind of a strategy thing. If it's on the market, then that means they're making moves. They're doing stuff right now. If you find a property that's currently off market, then off market, then that means they just own it. So you could actually do active pending and under contract, and that would show you properties that are owned by landlords and people that are in the middle of a transaction. So it's really just that absentee owner, and then you just select the area that you want.
All right, let's do it. So I know Reggie's in Jacksonville, so I'm gonna head down to Jacksonville once this is ready. Wow, that's a lot. Let me tighten
So
it up a
you
little bit.
selected active, under contract, and pending, right?
Yes, active, under contract, and pending.
Yep. So these are
Along with
all landlords that are selling properties right now and might be in the market for another one.
Okay, I'm gonna make it nice and tight to like just include. Oops, I gotta use my mouse.
Let me say another thing about landlords. So the cool thing about landlords is they solve two problems for us from a wholesale perspective. They're buyers. Right now we're looking at them as buyers, but they're also sellers, right? We know that these guys are selling properties. So if they're selling one property, what else is in their portfolio that they would want to sell that maybe isn't even on the market? So reaching out to landlords is a great strategy overall, because you can add them to your buyers list. But if they say, you know what, I'm not buying anything right now, the next question for them is, oh, well, is there anything in your portfolio that you consider selling? Because I'm a cash buyer and I need inventory. So reach out to landlords. It's kind of a forgotten thing, right? Everybody thinks about fix and flippers. They call them cash buyers. But landlords there's way more of them out there. They got way more money and they're fairly active.
I like that. And being that these are absentee owners, potentially these could be some really good properties to buy as well. Like if they're a landlord that's neglected their property and, you know, it stopped getting rented out and got a little run down, like maybe this one here, you know, this one looks like it's been a little bit run down. This is potentially a great property to buy and fix. Oh yeah, definitely. It's got a big hole in the roof.
That's not good. It's
No.
not good for anybody. But look at that price, 60 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Jeez.
makes that attainable for anybody.
This will be my tax write-off.
Oh yeah. And in a hard money loan, I was just on a call yesterday with Lima One. They do up to 95% of cost. So 95% of what acquisition plus all of the renovation cost. They'll give you 95% of it.
Okay, so 60,000 times 0.05, which is what I would have to bring $3 grand to the table. My goodness.
Well, it's up to you'd have to look at the criteria, but it's also up to a maximum percentage of ARV as well. So
Gotcha.
you can't go over or up to a certain limit of what the percentage of ARV. The whole point of the cost portion is to show you that you may not have to come to the table with any money but 5%, as long as it's still below the after repair value.
What's that lender? Can I contact them? Because I am going to need somebody.
Yeah, I'll give you a number after the fact.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Well, let's keep chopping down these questions before we got 1 minute left. Okay, we'll take George real quick. George says, thank you for the video. My question is, I have a buyer that will want to buy between 50 to 150 acres to build on. How can Privy help?
We can't. We don't do land right now. So unfortunately, you're going to have to look on a site like LoopNet to find that property.
I mean, Benson still helped. He gave you a good referral. LoopNet. Let me just show you what LoopNet looks like real quick.
And by the way, I know people that make money by finding properties on LoopNet, getting them under contract and dispoing them.
They find them on LoopNet, get them under contract. So we're talking like big multifamily?
No, this is just commercial. So commercial could be land, it could be multifamily, it could be what you would call like mixed use. It could be all different sorts of stuff, but it's the same strategy you're doing for the MLS. You just find a property on here, you lock it up, get it under contract, then you find a buyer.
That's awesome. Okay. Sweet.
So
Well,
you just go to for sale and you would just choose land, and then you could find potential properties there.
for sale, land, let's say Tampa, search. Boom. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. You know, these people could potentially be buying land too. Love that.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome.
And you can
Well,
actually type the address of a property here that's land into Privy, and it will show you the owner.
Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. 5510 Camerick Road. Copy. Go to Privy. Boom. Whoops. There we go. We got the owners.
Yep.
I like it. Sweet. Well, thank you, Benson. Thank you for doing this show. I really love how much utilization there is to Privy. It's so cool, and we had some real life examples there. So if y'all want to see me continue to use Privy throughout the day, I'm going to be skip tracing these buyers using Privy and calling these buyers and getting these deals sold. So Benson, thank you for you and your team creating such a fabulous, useful software. Like, this is very useful, very applicable in people's businesses. It helps me close more deals. You know, even doing this virtually, I can do this virtually because of softwares like Privy. So thank you, Benson.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much for everybody that watched us live, and for anybody that's watching the recording. You know, make sure you come back and check out Nathan's lives. There's tons of valuable information there. You can put questions in live, and don't forget to text Try Privy to 813-437-1709, and you can get a special discount courtesy of Nathan Harris.
Muchas gracias. Awesome. All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Take care.